lost, or maybe while she's cooking or something, stew or whatsoever falls on the notes. You get that kind of thing, and she loses that note. Now, let's break it down. Data is simply the record of what has happened. Then the analysis itself is that one that she goes home and she start thinking if she has made loss or not. That is the analysis. That is basically the analysis we're talking about here. Then what's next? What's next is also the analysis. What next is she supposed to do to make profit? Data also tells us if analysis also tells us if what has happened should continue happening, and that is where data analysis comes in. Like it's basically you after recording what happened. The next thing is making plans to make sure that thing doesn't happen again. That's basically what data analysis is. No too much explanation or too much grammar. That is the first part of it. Please, if you can hear me, can I see a thumbs up? Okay, thank you. Now let's get back to the second part. The second part of it, the whole world, the whole world basically runs on information, and this information influences decision that should be made. Just like the market woman, sorry, just like the market woman that sells things in the market. For her to make profit in the coming year, she has already analyzed information in that small book that she has written profit and loss and for people that's owing her. That is basically information. Then, if you think about it, if you bring it to the health sector, the hospital and everything, a doctor, a doctor in this part of the world, in the country, in this country, in Nigeria, a lot of times doctors don't have like a huge amount of record of a particular person. Sometimes they do, but there is also the fact that their family lineage, okay, the mother, the grandmother, or grandfather, there is a record that doctor does not have access to because sometimes there are existing illness that exist in the family that the doctor can use to check if giving this particular person this prescription should work for them or not. That should help the doctor basically. And that information is simply data. The analysis is now telling the doctor what to do next. If you go to the hospital, a hospital, for instance, a hospital that you have been visiting, let's say a private hospital, they have a record of you. If you have visiting them for like the past 2 years, they should have a record for you. Personally, I have a record with my doctor because I currently wear a medicated lens. So anytime I come, he checks that record and knows if he's still going to give me the same prescription or not. That is for the health distance. If you go to the education aspect, in secondary school, we used to have a form teacher. First, second, third term, there is results. The form teacher has a report. That report contains information of first, second term, first, second, third term. So that first, second, third term contains information of me, other students, and everything. So if I'm doing bad in mathematics, if she decides to help, she will now know that oh, this person did not do well in mathematics. She can't store a lot of record in her brain to say oh, without checking that report because for instance, I can be doing bad in mathematics test third term, and she will feel like, how does she want to help? But with that record of second, the previous term, she can say, okay, this is where this student is having issues. Let me help out. That is the education aspect. So we're not saying that information runs in the like in a various aspect of the world. In the business aspect too, we talked about a woman who sells food and goes to the market. If you bring it to the supermarket aspect to where they sell large amount of products, it's the same thing. There's profit and loss. If they want to make profit next year or the coming months, they have to check what product is bringing them down. If they are selling too much product on credit that's giving them losses, these are information that determines decision of the coming months or coming years. I hope I hope we're getting what I'm saying, because I don't know if we are following up. All right. Wait, oh, is it Natsu? Is it only you're the only one giving thumbs up? Is anyone else understand what I'm saying? Debit. Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, so I can continue. I can continue. Sorry. Same thing in the government or government services. If we go to the government service, something funny happened recently for those of us in Nigeria and part of Nigeria that we know. So basically, there's a Nel Fontaine student loan where students can apply to loan, and there's an upkeep for students monthly. We have 36 states in Nigeria, and in that 36 states, there is an obvious amount of students that apply to that because some of these students do not have access to resources. Now, that upkeep 20K every month. I went on Twitter as of last month. Some students did not get access to that upkeep. And you'll not be thinking, you will not think it's, oh, they're being biased. I don't think that's the case. I think these people that are doing that handling the data of these students do not handle it well. That is why certain states receive upkeep for that month and the other states do not receive upkeep for the other month. Because you cannot tell me that they are not aware of students not receiving the upkeep. Or you cannot tell me that it's bank network that's making them not receive, because once they are sending to other states, they send immediately. And if you want to bring it to the other part of the sea is for reference, I don't think it's it, because if they're about to debit anybody from their account, they can debit it immediately from any state where you are. So basically, it's the data. The data is not properly handled. That is just the truth. Maybe they will say, "Oh, let me transfer to Kebi, let me transfer to Delta today." Then they don't monitor these things, because sometimes, as of April, some people receive upkeep allowance 2 times in a month, which is not supposed to be so. That is to show you that the data is not properly handled. And this is just the student aspect. What about teachers and other people in other infrastructure in the public service where they receive payment late? Because my mom used to say, "Oh, people in this state have received salary, we have not received salary." That is because the data is not properly handled, honestly, because that's the truth. So we now understand that these decisions are made on information, and this information is basically data of everyone in a particular state, in a particular industry, in as customers and clients, students, patients. Even in your personal life, you can have data of what's going on. If in a year you see that you get sick once or twice. That is, if you can monitor the data so that, oh, next month, next year, I will not get sick. Or if you eat a particular food for a particular time and you see that you are having reactions, some people have reactions to vegetable soup, some people have reactions to beans. So you now tell yourself, what do I do so that I don't have these allergic reactions to eating this particular food? That is basically analysis, because this part of data analysis is very, very important to everyone, because as we go deeper into what data analysis is, you don't just see it as a technical thing where you see numbers or you see alphabets, where you see people's names. No, we have to start with the basics. Now, the difference between countries, let's say countries that struggle with information or data analysis, and how it works for them. In other countries, let's say US, for instance, if you watch American movies, you would see that if something happens and your biometrics is caught in a particular place, they can scan that biometrics, and in the computer it shows their name. Also in the hospital, if they go through the record, there's a record, they will check for your name, your sex is there, what is it called it, genotype and everything is there. Sometimes they have data of, let's say, um 2 generations behind you, and they see if there's any illness that has persisted in the 2 generations, or if there's a difference. They even have DNA test. So if your DNA test is not somehow aligning to what the other generation is, then they not check if, oh, this is where, if you're not from that family, they would know immediately. This is simply information. This is simply information that works. Now, to countries like somewhere in Africa here, we don't have that amount of information. If the only thing that I see that we majorly run here is, okay, they want to do a DNA test. Is as soon as that child is born, they can do that in DNA test and check for like 1 or 2 things. That's it. But in terms of illnesses, in terms of outbreak, how many of the infrastructures here have the amount of tools to check or record data of past families and everything? I don't think they do. Places like Rwanda have already made a deliberate effort to make sure that data is being recorded for their growth. If data is recorded constantly, a country can grow, a market can grow, a small community can grow. Um, a small company can grow. Like even your personal life can grow if you monitor your data. There are some people that check on their weight every day. Some check yearly, some check monthly. If you are growing, some people check their height on a monthly basis to see if they are growing. This is simply data to know what next is to be done. This is where data analysis comes in. That data analysis helps you to choose or help you to make an action next to determine if you are going to make improvement or if you are going to stay stagnant where you are. Simply data. From that data, you can analyze any other thing. If there is a bad habit that you have, sorry, is someone saying something? Okay. So this is simply data to tell you if you are going to be stagnant or not. Data is Data analysis is very, very important to our lives. government in general, our family, and a lot of things. Now, let's now see. So basically, data analysis is not just a tool, it's a lens that we can see beyond what's going on around us. As of 2019, during the COVID-19 era, 2019, 2020, we can see that a lot of people searched if the number of COVID-19 patients in Nigeria is growing. That helped the country to like see, oh, should we now continue to take safety precautions and a lot of things. In other countries where it was going higher, they had to think about what should be done next. Other outbreaks too, they had a good amount of data. I don't think we had enough data in Nigeria to see if it was really serious because after the breakdown, after the COVID-19 era, sorry, epidemic, yeah, we can see that some other people were saying they had COVID-19 because that's simply because we don't have enough record of patients that keep having these things. Some people basically might have had it in their house and they went to a hospital, but no record of them. They just give them some drugs and everything. This is why data analysis is basically important. It is very important. So now, beyond technology, data analysis is like a vehicle that makes the human life better. The spreadsheet is just a tool. What matters is whether the information used inside inside helps someone or helps the country. The whole chart and everything is just a tool to know what's next to be done. From the onset, from the onset, when I made mention about the market woman that goes and sells something at the market and goes home after a year, she checks if there's profit or loss. It's basically to know if she's making improvement. This is just a simple way to know that data analysis is important to our daily lives. It is very, very crucial. So the real value of data analysis is not just the analysis itself. It's basically the decision that is going to be made after. Because you can keep record of all these things, and the next month you continue to make your normal life, you continue to go on your daily life, you continue to make sales, you continue to run a business without making a decision. The analysis is just useless. It's basically useless. Useless. So the main thing in data analysis is okay, the record is kept. You think what is to be done next. Now, making a conscious effort to use that data, it's where data analysis is important to every one of us. Lastly, I'm going to say this, it is not just a tech skill, it is something that each one of us use. But basically, because we are not going to the technical part yet, we feel like it's not important to us. And this is where data analysis comes in as a course. And the rest of the week, we're going to be learning more about what data analysis is with the use of the tools of like Excel and other applications. And I think the rest will be communicated to us about what we need to know concerning data analysis. This is where I stop. And If we have any questions, you can. I would like to see. You can drop the questions in the question in the chat box, or you can unmute your mic. Okay. This is sorry, I can't pronounce their
But I
name.
can't
This
pronounce their
host.
names. This host. Okay, no, don't bother pronouncing. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, I have a
All right. All
question.
right.
All right, all right. I have a question. So now you made mention that in Nigeria that we do not have the facilities to be able to analyze that kind of data, especially in the healthcare system now, right? So I
I
want
can't
to
hear
ask. I can't
you.
hear
Okay.
you. Okay. Okay, can you hear me
I can't
now?
hear you again.
I
Your
can't hear
network
you
is
again. Your network
breaking.
is breaking. Oh, my network is breaking.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, you can hear me now.
It's better now. It's
It's
better
better
now.
now. It's better
It's
now.
better now.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
better now. Yeah. Okay. So I was saying you made mention of something. You said in Nigeria that we
Mm,
do not have the facility to be able to analyze bulk data in especially in the healthcare system now, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want to ask, what actually is the issue? Is it that there are no data analysts, there are no data analysts enough, or that they do not have like I want to understand because we have data analysts littered all over the country, right? So is it that they cannot employ the services of these people, or they cannot afford to employ the services of these people, or are there other facilities that are needed to be able to do this?
So basically, I feel like there's a limited amount of data that people agree to give out. That's one part of it. Because hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. In let's say in the healthcare system, most people don't agree to give out like a private amount of detail. And in let's say in the other in business, people don't keep enough details. We majority of the time we are lazy to keep details, especially like okay, let's go to the business part of it. You end your day making sales. Most people record like every single sale that is being made. That is why the normal book and biro method is very is heavy on people because that makes you tired at some point. You stop recording. Then there is the part where they don't want to employ people that can record this data for them because they feel like there's no sufficient amount of investment made to cater for the salary of someone recording, someone making sales. Because if you go to some supermarkets, you see someone that is basically the one recording, the other person sells to you. Some infrastructures do not have that amount of investment to making sales to making salaries to data analysis data analyst and the salesperson. That is one part of it. Then there is storage. There's something about storage because if there's something we need to also realize in storing data, especially in our let's say mobile phones and computers, it consumes it consumes a large amount of space. So if you are not aware of these things, you are not aware of using like the cloud storage. At some point, you will have to get another phone or another device. Then in this process, you might lose data. You might very much lose data. That is why the cloud storage is very important. I don't think it's up to me to make mention of the use of Google Spreadsheet, which is a cloud storage. That will be later on. Then there is also a fact that not a lot of data analysts are being like open themselves to these jobs because sometimes they don't really have like that much experience on what to do. So basically, these are the things that causes lack of data in a country like Nigeria. That's simply the truth. As of last month, where they were talking about the whole money point issue and them not having there's no talent in Nigeria. The truth is that there's no good amount of data of people that can work in in these industries. We are not let me not dive into that. But basically, since information decisions, like I said, decisions are made based off information. And those information, if it's not available, you can't make a decision. Basically, that is how it is on social media. They make use of information a lot. As we're talking right now, if your phone records any information about you, just a keyword, if you go on your social media, that information will be there, constantly giving you feeds, giving you jokes, giving you as entertainment. Just a word, just a word can change your whole algorithm on your social media. That is the use of data. That is how important data is for everyone. When you see that people tell you, I think I'm saying I'm going beyond, but when you see that people say they are selling your data to other companies, you will think it's a private information. For some, it's a private information. Why some other part of it? They'll buy those data so that they sell to other companies like Amazon and the rest. So when you see the ads pop in your phone, it is something that you are interested in. That is why you buy from them. Basically, they have just sold your data to a marketing company, and the marketing company markets a product to you, and you buy it. That is how important information is, and that information is where data is important to every one of us. Simply put, I hope I answered your question because I think I went beyond.
Yes, 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 absolutely, you did. Thank you very much, sir. So, I don't think, is there any other person that has a question?
Let me check the chat
Let me check
box.
the
I don't
chat
think
box. Okay. I don't
before
think
you.
any other person has a question. So thank you, Mr. Henry. Thank you. The session was very insightful. If at least you didn't take home anything, me personally, I will just put this out that what I learned that data can be used one in the healthcare system, and also it can be used for the purpose of DNA. Yes, that was the exact one that I had in mind. Can be used for the purpose of DNA. I was just hearing it for the first time. And you made mention of using people's data and all that, selling people's data. I'm hearing it for the first time. So thank you, Mr. Thank you very much, Mr. Henry. So, for everyone that has participated, thank you for joining in. Please, let's give Mr. Henry a round of applause for his time well spent. So, yeah, thank you, Mr. Henry. So, this webinar is to prepare our minds against the. Okay, somebody is raising a hand.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I can't see the hand. Where's the person? Has the person taking it down?
I
Okay.
don't see it
I don't
myself.
see it myself. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I think it was a mistake. So this webinar is to prepare our minds for the upcoming data analysis class coming up on the 21st of this month. That is next week, right? Sorry, the upper way, yeah, next week Sunday. Next week Sunday. So we should prepare our minds. At least even if you are a newbie, you have no knowledge of data analysis, this to tell you ahead that this is what data analysis is about, and this is how you can utilize it with your normal daily, how it impacts the real world. So it gives you an edge of understanding data analysis. So once again, thank you everybody for joining this webinar, and I hope you are already set for the upcoming class. Please, if you have not told somebody about this class, you are wrong. You are very, in fact, you're being stingy. Tell another person about this data analysis class, please. Tell others about this data analysis class, and this might be I'm not promising though, but we might not have this opportunity again to be having this kind of free class. Yes, you might not have the opportunity again to be having this free class. So tell everybody that you can tell, share on your social media platforms, share on your WhatsApp status, share on Facebook, share on Instagram, share on TikTok. Tell everybody that HAMPlus is holding a free 5 days data analysis class. So I expect to see you on Sunday. I expect to see you on Sunday fully active. So, okay, Mr. Amplos, over to you. Floor is open in case you have something to say. Okay, I guess he's not online. Mr. Amplos, are you there? Okay, so in his absence, sorry, so he's not in his absence. We are going to be logging out the meeting now. And once again, I say thank you for joining. Please prepare, get set, get your writing materials as well, and participate fully so that your time with us will not be a waste. For those of you joining us from um, those of you joining us from which country was that again? Oh, Ghana, right? Yes. Those of you joining us from Ghana, we will communicate a time that you will join in the meeting, because of the time difference. So we'll communicate a time that you'll be joining for the upcoming class. For those of you that have not followed our channel, please follow our channel in case so that you don't miss information, vital informations there. So thank you everybody. Thank you everybody for joining. See you in the next class. Good night, everybody. an emoji. If you can hear me and you are online, signify. Okay, I can see you, Veronica. I can see you. Is it Jesus? Okay.
Yes.
Oh wow, it's alright. It's alright. Okay, so